I'm Zara. So today I'm going to make the mid-year book freak-up tag. I've seen this video for a few times here in BookTube, so I guess why not I make one myself. So this year I'm going to participate in this book tag, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first question is the best books you've read so far in 2021. So I have 3 books over here. The first book I'm going to talk about is The Sword of Kaigen by ML Wang. This book is pitched as the Poppy War meets Avatar The Last Airbender, and then I absolutely love this book. And it sets in a secluded area which is in Kaigen, where they don't have the communication as modern as the other area in Kaigen. And in this village, we follow 2 people, 2 point of view, which are, the first one is Mamoru. Mamoru is a teen, and then he is trying to follow his father's footsteps in becoming one of the warrior, and that inherit a special magic that is been in their family for such a long time. And then besides him, we also follow his mother, which is Misaki. Misaki is a mom of 4, and then in this book we follow her throughout her school years and also the current present time where he is a mother, but she is so different from the one she was in high school. So we follow both of her personality, what made her change herself, and then why she became so submissive. And then this is a very character-based book. I mean, the plot is there, but it's not the main highlight. The main highlight of this book is the characters. I love Mamoru and also Misaki, and this one has a very good elements of womanhood, motherhood, and also like the stigma of women's decisions in the household amongst Asian families. The magical elements is very well written, and the emotions that the author put in this book is very good, and I just can feel the emotion throughout the battle scenes, also like the family elements. It's just so good, and I really cannot stop talking about this. So yeah, this is one of the best book I've read so far in 2021. Next up, I'm going to talk about another new author for me, which is Loli Castle in the Mirror by Mizuki Tsujimura. This book made me cry at 3 a.m. because it was so sad, and I just love it so much. So in this book, we follow 7 teenagers who don't go to school because of certain reasons, and then they each have their own reasons. In this book, we mainly follow one of the 7 teenagers. Her name is Kokoro. So one day, Kokoro didn't go to school, and then she found that the mirror in her bedroom is shining, is glowing. So when she touches the mirror, she was being absorbed into the mirror, and then she's transported into this magical world inside this mirror. It have like a very big castle, and she was being greeted by a kid with a wolf mask, just like in the cover, and she was called as the Wolf Queen. The Wolf Queen is the one that hosting this castle. She met the other 7 teenagers, and then they started to get to know each other, because school is such a taboo thing for them, because without they knowing, they all skip school, and then for different reasons for each of them. This book is very well written, despite having the magical realism element in this, but the author successfully brings out the mental health issues amongst teenagers inside this book and let it shine. The ending made me stop. The ending wrapped it in such a nice bow, and then wrapped it nicely, and then yeah, I just love this book so much. So I will recommend this book to every reader out there, no matter what genre you read, because it's such a good book and eye-opener, and a very important read. And then the last book for this question is The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. Okay, so last year I was so obsessed with the Poppy War series. I read the Poppy War, and then I read the Dragon Republic, and this year I reread the whole the Poppy War and also the Dragon Republic, and then I read The Burning God, and oh my god, it blew my mind and then it made my heart tore apart. And yeah, I just can't stop shoving this to any fantasy readers out there. So yeah, do check out the trigger warnings in this. They have a lot of trigger warnings, and basically in the first book we follow Fang Runi. She is a peasant, and then she wanted to escape from her lonely life, so she decided, okay, I want to take this exam, a very prestigious exam, in order to get into a very prestigious military school. So she ended up getting the highest score in that exam, so she get in the school. But then in the school, she met so many people that are very different from her. She learned new things, and then she learned about gods, and she learned about lore, and that there are so many elements in this which I love. But the thing I love the most about this book are two things. First is the world building is very, very fantastically written, and that I love the world building so much. It's very real, and I can feel how the world building is in this book. I imagine it vividly. And the second thing is how she can make flawed characters, but we can understand them, why they make these things, because Fang Runin is not an easy character to root for, because she is very flawed. She is very, very hot-tempered, but then we do understand her and why she did these things, going through her emotions and then her flashbacks, and all the things gumble up together, and then that's why she did things that she did. And other than that, the balance is that they also have some wholesome characters, and Chan Kitty is my favorite in this book. He is such a puppy. So yeah, this book is a fantastic book for any fantasy readers, or even if you're not a fantasy reader, you can try this one out, especially if you're adult, because this one is adult fantasy. Because I have a few friends that don't really read fantasy, but when they read this, they absolutely loved it, and then they can see why we love fantasy so much. So yeah, I will recommend this series to everyone. Make sure to check the trigger warnings first, because it's very important. So yeah, so these three books are my favorite reads of 2021 so far. I'm very excited to see what are the books I can top all these three, because they are very high on my list right now, and it's very hard to top them, but we'll see how. We have 6 months more to go, so we'll see. Okay, the next question is, what are the best sequel you've read so far in 2021? So please bear in mind that maybe I will pick the same book over and over again, because it's the same book. So the best sequel I've read so far this year is The Burning God. It's a perfect conclusion of the story, and then I really love this series so much. And even though the ending broke my heart completely, but I do love this book and this series. Next question is, what are my biggest disappointments so far in 2021? So the first book I'm going to talk about is Klara and the Sun by Kazuo Shiguro. This book sets in the distant future where artificial intelligence has been made, and they are called artificial friend. So AF, or artificial friend, is created to be friends with children. In this book, we follow an AF called Klara, and then Klara is one of the artificial friend that has been selected by a family, and this family consists of a young girl called Josie. So Josie picked Klara, but then this book has a lot of potential for me, but then my expectation has not been met, because I think that there are some missed opportunities, especially the character depth of Josie and her family. I just wanted some conclusion or some answers, and some of those questions are not answered. And I really wanted to love this book, because I've seen so many of my friends love this, but I just feel that it's a bit flat for me. So yeah, I think this one is the biggest disappointment for me so far. Okay, next is my biggest surprise of this year. I have to say this book. This is called Guru Aini by Andra Hirata. Andra Hirata is a very famous author for his book Laskar Pelangi. That one has won so many awards. In this book, Guru Aini, we follow Guru Desi. She wants to become a mathematics teacher, even though she is a very smart student, and that she can achieve anything. She can receive scholarship, she can pursue whatever industry, but then she said she wanted to become a mathematics teacher because that's her dream. She has one aim, which is to find a student which is a very genius in mathematics, and she was placed in the most secluded school in Indonesia. It took her 6 days and 6 nights to reach there from her house. So yeah, it's a very secluded area. probability to meet the genius that she aims for is very, very low. And then other than that, we also follow Aini. So Aini is one of the students in Daisy's school. She really hates mathematics. She really cannot understand anything from mathematics, and she very, very scared of Guru Daisy. But then one thing happened, and then she wanted to overcome this insecurity, her fear of mathematics, because she wanted to become a doctor. So that's why she's very, very determined. And then this crossover between these two characters are very, very well written, and I just love it so much. It broke my heart, it made me cry, and yeah, I just love this. I give this book 5 stars, and this book surprised me because even though this one is translated in Bahasa Malaysia, but it still has that beauty of Indonesian language. We thought it was going to be harder to understand because my Bahasa is not as good, but then I found it very interesting. It's very beautiful. This one is surprised me because of my own capabilities to understand this book. For the favorite new author, I have met so many new authors this year because I have received some ARCs and also some review copies, but I have to say that I want to read more books by the author of Foundryside, which is Robert Jackson Bennet. So this book follows Sanxia, which is a thief in this very like Guardian Galaxy-ish, and they have so many machines and scribings. So in this world, the magic system is very, very unique. One of the most unique magic system I've ever read, because all of the things are scribed to make they believe that they are something. So for example, if we wear a shoe, it's just a normal shoe, but they can scribe into that thing to believe that it can like slide. So even though a normal shoe, but if you can scribe it properly, then that shoe can slide. That area, they created so many opportunities for things, so many creativity about the scribers, how they can create things. They can create floating lanterns, they can create jetpacks, they can create so many things, and buildings that can understand people, that can censor people. So basically it's just like a modern world but without the machines, so they have these magical elements inside. So yeah, it's very, very unique, and I love how my brain like turned on and have to use my brain. I just loved it so much, and I think that I love Robert Jackson Bennett's writing so much. I'm going to read more of his books. This book, it made me think that I have to use all of my knowledge of like gravity and also like distance, velocity, and everything else. So it requires some brain work, and I just love this, and I love that one for this author, and it's very amazingly written. And yeah, I love this so much. Other than that, I think my new favorite author is going to be Mizuki Tsujimura. So this author, she has the way of doing simple things, but it gave a very big impact to me, and all the subtleness in her writing, but it touched my heart. I think I'm going to love other books that she will write in the future. So I'm going to look forward to her other books, and yeah, I will expect big things and great things from her. Next is newest Fictional Crush. So surprisingly this year I don't have a lot of fictional crushes, but I do find that Henry from The Invisible Life of Addie Larue is absolutely, he is a heart stealer. I mean, I love him, and then his personality, and then how he is not insecure about himself, but then he loves thoroughly, and I just love this guy so much. And then in The Invisible Life of Addie Larue, we follow a girl named Addie Larue who made a deal with the devil. So this deal that she made with the devil made her immortal. The twist is nobody will remember her, so once she's out of sight, out of mind, people will completely forget her existence, and then they will forget that they even met her. And then one day she met a guy, which is Henry, that can remember her. So the next day she comes, and then Henry say, "Hey, it's you again." So that thing sparked a little something inside Addie Larue's heart, and they try to figure out why this happened. And this book is very, very beautifully written. I love so many lines in this book. I mean, it tugged my heart, and I just love Schwab's writing. I absolutely loved her other books as well, but this book though, this book is very, very beautiful. It's so so beautiful. I have so many quotes in here, as you can see from my tabbings. So yeah, Henry is such a selfless guy. He loves completely, and then he doesn't hold anything back, and I just love him, and I just hope he's happy. Next is newest favorite character. So in this question, I'm going to mention 3 books and 3 characters. And I've been reading mangas this year, and I absolutely loved so many mangas. I've read Attack on Titan, I've read Spy Family, I've read Haikyuu, and I'm planning to read more in the future. So the first favorite character that I've met this year is Anya from Spy Family. So in Spy Family, it's about a spy named Twilight. So in this mission, he was asked to create a fake family. In order to create a fake family, so he has to find a wife and also a daughter, because a daughter is very crucial in this mission. So first, he finds a daughter. So the daughter is Anya, but Anya is a telepath, so she can read other people's minds, but this guy doesn't know that. And then second is he found a fake wife. This fake wife is actually an assassin, but she doesn't tell anyone about it. So secretly, they're in this household of fake family. One is a spy, one is an assassin, and one is a telepath, and they work. It has so many humor, it's so wholesome, and it's about like family quirks and also how they make it through together. The character that I love the most in this book is called Anya. Anya is the telepathic daughter that Twilight adopted, and she is so cute. I just wanted to adopt her as well. She really wanted her adoptive parents to love her, and she read their minds. Is about assassins and also spies, so that creates like an issue for her, but she loves spy movies, so she really wanted her mom and dad to work together. So yeah, I really love her. She is so wholesome, so cute, so fun, and she is very surprisingly unexpected. So yeah, I really love her, and this manga is very nicely written. The next is Attack on Titan. So Attack on Titan broke my heart in so many ways, but then I met Armin, and I just wanted to protect this guy. He is such a puppy, and I just want to protect him from anything, any sadness. And yeah, I love Armin so much. I hope he will find happiness. So I have read every available chapters until chapter 139. So I know the ending. So yes, I did cry, but then I cherish this series so much. This book we follow Eren Yeager. His aim is to kill all titans and save humanity. He also have a group of friends, which is Mikasa, his best friend, and also Armin, and they are going through like this military training to become one of the military officer. So they are to protect their village as well. So one thing led to another, it becomes bigger and bigger, and then this world expanded very unexpectedly for me. I mean, I didn't expect that, but yes, I love this book, I love this series. I cried so many times because of this. So yeah, it's totally worth the hype for me. The last book that I'm going to mention for this question is Misaki and Mamoru from this book, which is the Sword of Kaigen. But my favorite is Misaki, because even though in this book she turns out to be like a very submissive mother who always listens to whatever her husband has to say, but then her character growth, and then when she went back to her old personality, and then those combination of her current self, a mother, and also like the rebellion as she was during her school years, made me love her so much, because she doesn't lose herself during that process. And I just love to see her way of protecting the people she loves. And yeah, she is an amazingly written character. I love her so much, which is why I love this book so much. So yeah, just please read this book. Next is a book that made me cry. I can cry easily over books, so it's rare if I don't cry for certain books, but this year I've met a lot of books that make me cry, and then I'm going to say about the 4 same books. So the first one is the Sword of Kaigen. This is the middle part of the book. Oh my god, it broke my heart so much. And then this one, Lonely Castle in the Mirror, that ending, shattered my heart. The Burning God, obviously, because that ending as well. And then the final one is Attack on Titan. This book, oh my god, made me cry every time I reminded of that scene. All these 4 books are such heartbreaking read, but I love them so much. Next is the book that made me happy. I have a lot of books that made me happy this year as well, but I think the one that I can think of the most happiness that they give me is Haikyuu. So this is my favorite character from the series, which is Bokuto. I love so many, I love them all, but my favorite has to be Bokuto. I love him a bit more. In Haikyuu, we follow a boy named Hinata, and he wanted to play volleyball, but then because of his small figure, is quite hard because volleyball consists of tall players, so being short is a bit of a disadvantage. But then once he saw a player called the Little Giant, so he wanted to become a Little Giant as well. So this has been his aim from the start of the story. And then he went into this school called Karasuno, and then he met Kageyama. Kageyama is one of the players that he played against during in middle school, and then he absolutely hated each other. And Hinata is like one of the wild card over here. They get to know each other, they play together, and then this book has a lot of wholesome scenes. I mean, the whole team, the whole Karasuno team, I just wanted to hug them and just pat them on the shoulder that you guys did great. The players from other school as well. So Hokuto is like Fukurodani. They have Nekoma, so it's the surrounding school. They play with each other, they practice together, and then this book made me believe in positivity and also it made me not giving up. It teaches us about determination and then about not giving up, about no matter how hard it can be, and about friendship. And this series, I mean, oh my god, I can understand the hype. You can watch the series in Netflix as well. It's very good. I just love them so much. Next is the most beautiful books I've bought this year, and I have a lot because this year I bought a lot of collector's edition, which I love. And I only bought the books that I enjoyed or the books that left a big impact on my heart. So the first book that I got is Shadow and Bone. This one is the collector's edition, and yes, look at that spine. I really love that spine. It's like black and gold, and also like this cover. So Shadow and Bone is about Elena Starkov, who believes she is just a normal girl, and then suddenly one day when she wanted to protect her best friend slash crush, she found out that she has some magic. So in this world, they are called Grisha. So Grisha has a lot of categories inside there. Alina just found out that she is actually a Grisha, so she went into this training academy to learn about her power, and there she met Duckling. So Duckling is the general for this Grisha, like these magic people, and one thing led to another, and then there are love triangle, there's romance, there's war, there's political intrigue. And yeah, I love the Six of Crows duology. The Shadow and Bone, I don't love it as much as Six of Crows duology, but I still think it's a good introduction to this universe, so that's why I bought this book. It introduced me to so many things in this universe, so many characters that I love. I mean, he introduced me to Nikolai, which I love so much. So yeah, that's why I love this book. And look at this cover. I bought this in Kinokuniya. I saw this in store, but then I think it's too expensive. But after that, I just can't stop thinking about it, so I bought it, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made this year. So yeah, I love this. Last question is, what are the books that I need to read by the end of 2021? I have a lot of books I am planning to read this year, but these 6 books are my priority list that I have to read no matter what. So the first one is going to be Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. So this book is set in the same universe as The Kings of the Wild, and I absolutely love that one. In the first book, we follow like one of mercenaries. They are getting back together to save one of the mercenary members' daughter. In this book, we follow Tam. Tam is one of people who works in a bar, but then one day band of mercenaries called Bloody Rose came into her town, and then she wanted to join them. So this one is we follow Tam inside this universe, and I just wanted to get back into this universe. And then because even though some people say that the first book is not their favorite, but the second one absolutely blew their mind, so I want to see what the hype is all about. So yeah, I can't wait about this one. And then the next book that I want to read is Assassin's Apprentice, the first year trilogy by Robin Hobb. I wanted to read Robin Hobb's work, and this year is that year, and I'm going to finally read her books. And I've heard so many things about her writing, especially the Life Ship Traders trilogy. So in order to read this, I want to start off with the Farsi trilogy first, especially after Regan from Perus Project. I absolutely loved her book, so yeah, I guess why not, because my taste has been absolutely influenced by her recommendation. So I think I will love this book as much as she does. So yeah, I'm very excited to start this. I will planning to read this by end of this year. Next is another fantasy book that is very famous amongst the fantasy lover, and that one is The Lies of Lamora. This is Gentleman Bastard series, and I've heard so many good things about this one, about found family and about like heist. Just a fun read, and I really wanted to read this, but I'm quite scared because of the writing style might be too high for me, because English is not my first language, so I'm a bit scared about that. But no matter how, I will try to read this, because this is a book that I really wanted to love. So yeah, I will try to read this by this year as well. Next one is Jade War. So I read Jade City last year, and I absolutely loved it. It's one of my top favorite series of all time, and I really wanted to get back into this universe. So in Jade City or Greenbone Saga, it sets in a fictional world called Kaigen, but it was imagined as Hong Kong in the 90s or 80s, where the main telecommunication devices are the mainland phone, and then they use letters, and then they don't have modern devices like now. And in this world, Jades hold the power, because Jades can enhance their abilities to hear, their strength, their eyesight, so everything. So whoever that can wear Jade is like a very powerful thing in this world. And in this book, we follow the No-Pit clan. In this clan, we follow the three siblings, which is Kaul Lan, Kaul Hilo, and also Kaul She. These three siblings are like the leaders for this clan, and then they have this rivalry with another clan, which is the Mountain clan. And then I absolutely love that book because of the battle scenes and also the world building. It's very simple but very unique, and I especially love the battle scenes because it seems very vivid and it seems real to me. I can imagine in like a movie. And yes, I'm going to read Jade War, because Jade Legacy, the third and final book in this trilogy, is going to come out September. I cannot wait to get back into this world. My favorite character has been Kaul She. Even though he is a bit of annoying, but I still love him. He's one of those guys that you think like, okay, you need to chill for a bit and then think. So, but I still love him, and I just love this sibling so much because they have different personalities, but they just fit. Other than that, there are two books that I wanted to read because of my friend's recommendation, which is from Neighbor Reads, Farah. So Farah has been recommending me these two books for quite a while right now. So the first book is A Man Called Oath by Frederick Bachman. This is going to be my first Frederick Bachman's book. So we follow a man called Oath, and he is a very grumpy man, but then one day a family moved into his next door house, so they started to learn about each other. Maybe he's not as grumpy as much, and this one is going to be a very fast read because it's less than 300 pages, so I think I can read this in one sitting, and I really want to cross off this book from my list, and I'm pretty sure I am going to love this book. I can't wait to read this. Actually, the last book that I want to read by end of this year is going to be A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. So this book, I am sure it's going to break my heart. I'm going to cry. I've seen all of those reading vlogs, all of those TikTok videos about their experience while reading this, but I know I'm going to cry. So this book is going to be very heartbreaking, and I know I prevented myself from reading this book because I'm not ready to cry as much yet, but I still need to read this. It's a very important book. Farah really loved this, and I want to see whether I will love this as much as her. And yeah, but I'm pretty sure I will love this book as also. So that's all for my media book freak out tag. I'm not going to do the whole list because there are so many things, but I just picked out the one that is relevant to my reading experience. Whether there are books that can top off my favorite as of half of this year. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and then we'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!